We are fast approaching the anniversary of the unprecedented January 6th attack on the Capitol. In an effort to stop or delay the constitutional process of counting the electoral votes of the presidential election, more troubling information continues to emerge almost daily, including information about veterans or active military taking part. At last count, 80 of those charged are or have been in the military. General Tom Kolditz knows the military from West Point to the Pentagon, 35 years of leadership across the world. General Kolditz is uniquely qualified to assess what went on January 6th and some of the possible impacts. Good morning, General. Good to see you again. You know,
good morning, Cameron.
We talked about this a few months ago, and you've seen more military now being involved in this whole thing since then. How surprised have you been about the revelations coming from it, and what does it mean, do you think, in terms of the way the military may be changing?
Well, I think the military will always be a reflection of society. And we're seeing the results, the negative outcomes of right-wing extremism all over our society. We're seeing it on our airlines where people are, arguing and even assaulting flight attendants because they don't want to wear a mask. We're seeing it in terms of an uptick of hate crimes. So it's really unsurprising that the military would also reflect this rise of anger and extremism. And I think the military is uniquely positioned to handle it.
Well, I'm sure you say that. I mean, because the military has been an example of stability in this country for generations. I mean, you think about the military, you think about solid, stable, but now civilian politics infiltrating, as you may say, is impacting. Why do you say the military is uniquely positioned to go ahead and handle it?
Well, first of all, for many, many years, the military has had rules and regulations and laws under the UCMJ to prevent political participation by soldiers. For example, disrespect to a senior official like the President of the United States is a crime in the military. It's recently the Department of Defense released a memorandum that detailed what they mean by advocating insurrection or advocating the toppling of the government, and that includes liking and sharing on social media. It's pretty demonstrative. And in the past, we thought of taking action as the requirement for enforcement. And now it's been made clear that mere advocacy is an action. And that's an important distinction. And so what we're seeing is the Department of Defense, in its own professional way, preparing and going up against this kind of extremism in the ranks.
You know, I want to talk about something very chilling warning. 3 retired generals, they wrote an op-ed about something in the Washington Post a few weeks ago. We're talking about Generals Paul Eden, Antonio Taguba, and Stephen Anderson. They wrote about what they say is a dangerous trend. They say they took note of a number of veterans involved in the January 6th attack. They also, what they see is a breakdown in structure and control in the military. They write, "We are chilled to our bones at the thought of a coup succeeding next time. Without constant maintenance, the potential for a military breakdown mirroring societal or political breakdown is very real." Do you know these generals, and do you agree with their concerns?
Well, I know Paul Eaton. I know Tony Taguba very well. I don't know General Anderson. But I will tell you that listeners should understand that Tony Taguba is a very unique individual among retired general officers. He was the person who wrote the critique and critical report of Abu Ghraib prison and basically ended his career by doing it. Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld was furious, and others were quite angry at him. But he told the truth. And he is the most truthful, high-integrity general officer around. I mean, I know of no one who would exceed his personal integrity. And so it's unique and special that Tony Taguba was one of the people who wrote that letter and that warning.
So do you agree with their concerns about the breakdown within the military and perhaps the military may be involved in a coup at some point?
There are military members who are quietly right-wing extremists. We've seen military general officers like the Brigadier General and the Oklahoma National Guard who have been insubordinate. But I don't think it's going to be a problem that is bigger than our military's ability to control it. These ideas and some of these individuals get a lot of attention and they seem bigger than they are. But in the 3.2 million person Department of Defense, the vast majority, 99%, are great Americans loyal to their country. And no matter what their basic political beliefs are, they're going to do their jobs. So the people who emerge as extremists or people who are fomenting some sort of aggression against our country, I think are in for a very rough time.
You're a proponent of leadership. I mean, that's your role as the founding director of the Doerr Institute at Rice University. So what role does leadership play in all of this in terms of corralling some of the challenges that the political influences might play in the military?
Yes, well, leaders can be conservative, leaders can be liberal. There's a lot of diversity in it. What they can't be is deliberately dishonest. And right now we're in a war for the truth. The idea that Donald Trump actually won the election when he lost by 7 million votes across 7 states, it's an absurdity. And many leaders know it and yet go along with it. So the key element of leadership that's missing right now that has to be won back is personal integrity and a respect for the truth.
So I think you said he won, but you said the fact that he lost the election by that number seems to be pretty well known among people, but there are people who are actually going the opposite way.
Well, there are people who have near blind loyalty to former President Trump. And if they would just reason through why more than 60 courts would turn down the objections that have been raised, why there's no evidence, 7 million votes across 7 states, there would surely be a trail in one of them, and yet there isn't. So leaders, I think, need to possess what Tony Taguba possesses, which is a commitment to personal integrity and truthfulness.
Right. Good. That wraps it up pretty well. Truth is kind of the wins out on everything. General Kolditz, thank you, sir. I'm sure that we'll talk again in the not so distant future because this is an evolving story that continues to require your expertise. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.